Hi, everybody. Robin here at Toadstool Tarot. Good to see you all. It's bitter cold out. I think it's 32, but it says the wind chill's 21. It's that kind of weather. It's sunny out, but still, it's that wind. And I don't know. In this time, I feel like hibernating all the time. My apartment has exposed brick wall behind me, as you can see, and whoever got the stupid idea to do that, what it does is it means the building is not very well insulated. So it's not too bad when it's cold. I do have heat, but when there's wind outside, the wind somehow just like comes right through the brick wall. I don't know. The insulation's really not sufficient. And I do have a little space heater next to my bed that I use a lot, and lots of layers of blankets. But I just tend to want to sleep all the time. And today particularly, I was up a couple of times reading, and then I just fall back. Reading makes me tired. I don't know how you guys do. I don't have a proper table or setup to read at unless I go to a cafe or somewhere. And so I tend to like to read on my using the Kindle app on my phone, which means I'm, lying down in bed, and I get tired after about 5 pages and want to drop off to sleep. I tend to sort of lose my place when I'm reading. And that's saying something on a Kindle app because there's so few words on the page, and every book is a page turner. But anyway, I fell back asleep a couple hours ago and did set my alarm clock for this. But I really was sort of relieved that I only have an hour show to do on Saturdays, because I can't wait to be done and go back to bed for another nap. And I'm also having trouble these days coming up with content for my channel. I did have a fun new deck to share last week, and I get inspired sometimes in the middle of the week and order these decks, but then they don't show up in time for the weekend. So I saw one the other day that I like. So next week I will have another new deck. But this week we're falling back into tarot clear out mode again. And I've been doing a shelf at a time, oh God, for seems like several months now. And I'm only up to the equivalent of what would be shelf number 11 if I had 11 shelves free to store decks on. These now are I'm sharing my bed with piles of tarot decks and several sort of lap trays or serving trays layered high with decks. So I'm doing the equivalent of what would be perhaps a shelf number 11 of decks. Let me see who's here today. We have Marilyn's Tarot Take first in the room again. That's really always nice to see her first. We have Zach of the Tiger's Abyss. Only good thing to come from me calling out of work sick is watching Robin's live. That's nice. I'm sorry to hear you're feeling unwell. I think it's that, I don't know what you got going on. I think it's the season. I didn't used to get sick that often, but I've had in the last 3 months, I've had 2 head colds. And today I feel congested. I just got over my second head cold about a week or 2 ago. And now I feel like I'm getting my third, which is crazy. But what can you do? Fluids and rest, I guess. Let's see who else is here. Chopstick Tarot. Hi. I don't think I've seen you before. I can't remember, but what a fun name. I love that. Red Wing. Hello. SRAI, hello. Don't know you. T Diva, Ellie, hello. I'm not sure if I've seen you or not. I don't. Sometimes some of these names I don't remember. I'll get to know them more as I see them more frequently. Alder Moon, hello, welcome. So, shelf number 11. What I did years ago, I bought this bag. I think it might have been on Etsy, and I so loved the art of it. I thought, oh, this is going to be my cafe tarot bag. And there was something just beautiful and festive about it. And I just really liked the image on it. The painting is so colorful. And I thought, I need to find a tarot deck that's just like perfectly complementary to this bag to take with me in terms of color and abstraction. And not sure if it reminds me a little bit maybe of Chagall or not even sure which artist, but there's something about the painting on this or the design on it that I really love. And it doesn't really, it's not as nice a shape stuffed full of stuff as it is empty where it's more flat. It's got a nice kind of almost like a flannel feel to it, which is nice. And it does have a zipper to close the top. But I got it so full now of tarot decks that it won't close. And I never use it other than to just sit on my bed filled with decks. But I thought I might as well start there on unloading the bed. So I left the decks in here. I didn't even check to see what's in here, but we shall see. A couple new people. Let's see. Oh, Sandra, Spirit of Avalon's here. Hello. So first deck out of the bag is in this little brocade drawstring bag. There was like a Tibetan Himalayan kind of shop. There were a couple of them near me, and they sold like singing bowls and jewelry and incense and some clothes items, not too many, some spiritual books, some little mini deity statues and things. Loved both the places. And they had these little bags, and I bought a lot of bags from them. And both of them are gone now, which is unfortunate because I really liked shopping there. So anyway, let's see what's in here. That's the problem with bags. I don't often remember what deck is in which bag. Okay, this is the 8-Bit Fantasy Tarot. I think I covered this a few months ago that I found online. I think at Kippy's Quest tarot channel showed this, and I'd never seen it before. And it's in a really neat box with a lift-off lid like this. The problem is the lid lifts off so easy that it's apt just loose to fall open and lose the card. So I thought, well, I need a bag for the box itself. And this is like a Rider-Waite Smith type deck, all done in 8 bits. And I also loved how cute the little cards are. They're like little, almost squares. And I thought, oh, these will be really cool for layouts because they'll look like, you'll make a grid, it'll look like a grand tableau. And it was so fun. Oh, hi, Elspeth and Simon, welcome. And Saskia. Everybody trickling in. That's nice to see everybody. So these are the backs. And then the front, I can't remember whether I got this on Etsy. I think there was a link on Kippy's Quest channel. Or if not, you can just do a search for 8-Bit Fantasy Tarot and find it. I think it might have been on Etsy, though. Anyway, it's a fun little deck. The cardstock's, pretty cardy, stiff. And it really is let's see. No, I'm not going to be able to hold this to see them all very well without dropping them all. But so it is, very legibly the Rider-Waite Smith. I'm not really super keen on 8-bit art. I'm not that thrilled about pixelization, but there was something kind of fun and charming about this deck being very recognizable pixie imagery done in 8 bits, and right down to the colors. I think they used all the same colors. And so this was just kind of fun. And because I don't have anything else like this in my collection, this is a deck that I'm choosing to hold on to and keep. Also, it doesn't take up much space. Those are a couple of considerations when doing a clear out. Is it different from what you've got in your collection? How much real estate does it take up? And do you use it? Those are several aspects or arguments for keeping a deck, and this one's staying. Simon says he has an older and different version of this. So that's number one, that's staying. Let's see what's in the bag. Number 2. This one's in a Kelly pouch. Kelly Bear. Fun little all-seeing eye coin on there, fastener. She does make these ribbons a mile long. Jeez. You wrap it around the pouch about 8 times. And it pops open like so. I love the coloring of this one. This one's like purple and nice kind of almost taxi cab yellow. What is this? Oh, this I got with the help of my friend Sandra, and the deck seems to have developed a little bit of a warp to it. I thought the cardstock was okay, but maybe it'll bend back into place. This is the Harmonious Tarot, which I had originally from Lo Scarabeo, and it was one of the old school decks with the multiple languages on it, which I didn't like that aspect. Then there's a mini version, which I have around here somewhere, and the mini ones, a lot of them eliminated the languages in place of symbols and numbers. And I like that, but I didn't like the size. The mini's kind of really too small, because this is a really detailed deck. It's art by H.J. Ford not H.J. Ford, Walter Crane. H.J. Ford is in the same school of doing like fairy tale art and design stories from the late 1800s. So this would be like a contemporary of Pixies, back in the day. This guy didn't strictly do a tarot deck, but somebody very nicely supplied the elements of the pips in the imagery on the cards, and it works pretty well. There is a kind of a double border thing going on. I mean, there's a white border and then there's an ornate inner border. I don't mind so much, except that because of the detail in the imagery, I sort of wish it didn't have so much border for a, regulation size card or standard size card, because it makes it that much harder to see the details. Hello, Moomin Tarot and Kelly Reed stuff. So here are some of the cards. I don't know if you're going to be able to see them that well. It looks a little fuzzy on my camera. It's actually nicely detailed, but I don't know, for some reason. Is my lens dirty? Well, it just happens. You get what you get. You get a hint of this. I do have walkthroughs of all these things on my channel. I tend to love like Art Nouveau, Pre-Raphaelite kind of imagery, and that's sort of what this style is. I haven't used it in a while. Oh, there's the title card. And the thing about this, and I don't even know if it still exists, but in Europe, there was a publication, a magazine called Total Tarot. And I used to see people do, walkthroughs and reviews of Total Tarot issues, which would reissue parts or whole decks of tarot in the magazine. Some of them would divide them up over a couple magazine issues, but you'd get free decks. I haven't seen anybody do that in a while, so I don't know if they're still going or not, but I saw them do this, and I don't know why. Lo Scarabeo seemed to like work out this deal with them where they'd allow their decks to be released without the multiple languages on them, but they wouldn't release them on their own. But anyway, this was a favored deck at a time, and I saw it on there without the multi languages, and so I thought, ooh, I really want that. And my dear friend Sandra, I sort of begged her, please, 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 if I pay you, could you can charge me what you want, but would you get me a copy from Total Tarot and send it to me? And I didn't even particularly care to have the magazine. I just wanted the deck. So anyway, I'm tickled to have this as it is, without the languages and with the warp. And this is a deck I'm definitely holding on to. I don't know if I got rid of I think I might have let go the original Lo Scarabeo one I had with the multiple languages. Or if I didn't, it's probably in one of my Clearout bags or departing with, because I don't really need a second copy of this now that I have this one. I also don't use this very much anymore, but I do really like the art style. So I'm hanging on to that. Ooh, we're going fast. 118. I'm only up to deck 3, but the bag doesn't hold that many. So here we have tarot in a tin. I love tarot in a tin. And Simon says the magazine is by Lo Scarabeo. I didn't know that. I have about 21 decks from that magazine collection, says Sandra. And you could get a subscription, or you could buy it at a corner store. But it wasn't for sale here in the U.S. I haven't heard of anybody with a channel talking about still getting the magazine. So I don't know if they're still printing it, or if it's just dropped out of popularity, or people have moved on, or what the reason for that is. Anyway, tarots in a tin. I love them. I'd like there to be more of them. I wonder how many tarots in a tin have been released. I would say between a dozen and 20, maybe somewhere in the teens or 20. I don't know. I don't have all the tarots in a tin, but I do have, I think I must have bought about 8 of them. And this is one of my favorites, if not favorite. Well, I'll say my favorite pocket-sized Marseille deck, the Tarot de Maria Celia, which I didn't love at first. For some reason, when I got it at first, I didn't like the back design. Sometimes the back design will kill a deck for me. And this one had, I remember this as having a stark white border and a kind of a weird orangey hue that I didn't care for. And I ended up trimming the borders off and basically ruining it, making it a deck that I didn't use. And then I gave up later and I rebought it in a tin. And I don't know if they had altered the color, but it seemed to me like the borders were less stark white than I remember originally. And I do love the color palette of this, and I love the kind of whimsical quality to the design. Sorry, there's a little bit of glare. It's not super glossy, but there's enough of a sheen to make a bit of a glare. I just really like this deck. I like the whimsical quality of it, and yet it's still traditional Marseille. And he's got a bunch of decks out. I would say, what, 4, 5, 6? But I think this is the only one that I'm really drawn to, or that I really like and like to use and like to carry around. I really, really love the color palette. In terms of greens, I really love kind of a fern yellow green, which this tends to use. And in terms of reds, I like them to be a little more like an orangey red or a magenta, and this has that. So I really like the color palette on this deck. It's really, really a nice little, that's so pretty, that kind of teal or turquoise kind of color with the sort of pinky magenta and like little faded purple in the background. Just really, really sweet, pleasant colors. I think he really did an amazing job on this. So that's the Tarot de Maria Celia. Nice, affordable decks. These are usually under 20, somewhere in the teens. Hang on to that. This one, I have it in a tin, and I don't know why I have it in a tin. I think because it came in a bigger box. And I think this is called the Dream Keepers Tarot. I'm not sure. I had this originally. I had the indie version, and I think it was linen. And then it came out mass market with a different back design. I like this back design better. I don't like the cardstock as well. It's kind of stiff card that I don't care that much for, but it's all right. It's usable. I can't remember if the originals were bordered or not. I'd let them go because I actually sort of liked this one better. And it's got really interesting, beautiful images on them, surreal images. But I don't know why. For some reason, I had trouble reading with these cards and tended to never pull them out or use them. Looks like the camera's not picking them up very well either. There's some moody subtlety here. It seems like the colors are predominantly sort of like a gray, moody afternoon, you know. It's a perfect deck, I guess, for a rainy day, kind of rainy day cafe deck, you know. And it's sort of vintagey looking. Some of the images, they're kind of paint collage or something. I'm not sure what the process is, but I believe they were paintings. And they're interesting, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is about it that I just never reach for this. I think I'm going to let it go. The cardstock was Beluga. Definitely not Beluga cardstock. Subscribed for a while, but didn't like most of the decks, and the magazine was very beginnery, I thought, so I quit. Sandra didn't get all of them. I just received the tin version of the Fantasy Night Theater deck, flipping through it as I watch. So anyway, this is the first one so far that I'm departing with, and I do actually still have the original box and the guidebook. I think it's got a really big, kind of substantial guidebook, which is pretty good. So I will reunite these, probably take it out of the tin and keep the tin, and that can go for sale or trade or however. I still don't know how I'm going to depart with these things. Let's see what's next. Oh, here's one I had a image made for. This is the RWS 2.0. Tried to kind of hard sell it to Simon back in the day. It was at one point my absolute favorite deck, and I think not only because of the moody backgrounds, if I can find one. They took a little bit of liberties with the Hermit. They put a full moon in the background, which we don't have in Pixie's design. Has a different font, and I didn't mind the font so much. It also has a very prominent copyright on it. Well, it came out in 2018. And I wasn't fond of that, but, I get people wanting to protect their rights. Also not crazy about the back design, but it's that MPC cardstock that I like. I think Simon, when he showed his, maybe a year into having it or a few months, and he had trimmed off the borders because it does have borders on it. I think some of the ink on the back was chipped off, which I had never seen on a deck before. I haven't used mine enough or as roughly, I guess. I don't know what causes it to chip like that, but mine's still okay. And I think I had a couple backup copies of this, and I don't know if I've let them go or not. I only just have this one now. And see, there's my significator card, and I love the quality of that sky. But this one has had the sharpest detail of any RWS deck I had, and some of the images that are generally a little bit busy, where I didn't think couldn't make out the details, where it was focused in a little tight. This one shows you what's going on. For instance, did I skip by that card? Oh, yeah, on the Fool card, if you zoom right in, it gives you, there's like an eagle's face or something on the bag. Usually you can't make out what is the design on the bag. So little details like that, it's kind of fun to see. Anyway, I probably will hold on to this just because I swore it was my number one for so long. I don't think I'll let it go, but I don't really drag it out and use it so much anymore. Maybe if I have a reference, I need it for a reference, I'm confused about the detail in an image, I'll drag this out and check. I don't need a magnifying glass. But yeah, so hanging on to that. Here's one. Oh, I got two decks in this bag. Neither one came with a bag, and I'm not sure what I want to do with these. These are two decks by Paris de Bono, if you guys know his channel. Now, what he did was he took the hoi polloi and recolored them and reissued them under different names, and I can't remember the names. But they're like sort of bridge-sized or poker-sized, playing card-sized cards. And The thing is, he uses the same back for most of his cards, which is, I guess, a marketing thing, but I'm not really tickled about, his logo being on the back and the card designs all being the same. But anyway, this was a black and white version of Pixie's art, which I like, although it was sort of a black and white version of the hoi polloi version of Pixie's art. But still, it was kind of fun. Although this black and white one kind of looks like it was done on an old Xerox machine where the toner was running out. It's not like a real sharp black. It's like sort of, in some areas, almost like a third generation black or gray or something. Does have the labels on the cards if you need them. I since have gotten a black and white RWS deck by a friend, Ted Beach, did one that he sent me, which is very sharp, and I love having that. And so I don't know that I need this. Maybe I would be more interested in hanging on to this if the imagery, or should I say the black lines, were a little bit sharper and a little like a second or third generation Xerox copy. So I think I'm going to let this go. I need to find another bag or container to put it in, but I'm going to let that one go. On the other hand, this other version of the deck that he has, this is the closest thing I can find to, Simon will be able to tell me the name of this. Is it the Golden Tarot? It has this color palette, but is matte. And I think the backs are like golden pink with like a cross design or something. I'm not sure if it's called the Gold Tarot or something like that. But it has a different kind of coloring. And I like this coloring. I wasn't able to find a copy. That's kind of on my wish list, that deck, if I can remember the name of it. Golden Rider, thanks. The Golden Rider Tarot. If I can find a copy, I'd like to have one. But in the meantime, this will kind of satisfy me until I do. And I do like the size. I love decks that are playing card sized. So, yeah, I'll hang on to this. This will satisfy two things: the size of the deck and that coloration. And also hoi polloi. I don't have a hoi polloi type deck anymore. I did have Brandt's Moonbaby Tarot, but I passed it along. The cardstock on that was not to my particular liking. It was matte, but it was thick, and it was, I don't know. I never reached for it. It's a beautiful deck, 2 different editions. I had the first one with, I believe, the pink edges. I even corner rounded it, which kind of messed things up because it has an inner border that didn't match the corners. And I used my corner rounders so they would match, forgetting that it had pink edging on it. So where I cut the corners are white, and then the sides and tops and bottoms are pink, which, I mean, I guess I could have taken a pink marker and re-edged the thing, but I didn't bother. Not real good with edging. So I did pass that along. Just never really reached for it. So anyway, I am hanging on to this one. Next, so I only have 3 more in this bag. The bag doesn't hold that much. Here's one. Oh, I think I got this pouch probably on Etsy. Oh, and this is one that I like it when these pouches fold out and give you room to lay out a 3 to 5 card spread on them. That's great. And this one's got a double ribbon on it. Also, it has mushrooms on it, so I should have like a toadstool deck in here. This is my Spectro World Tarot that I was so excited about initially. Again, this is almost a sort of a playing card format deck. It's kind of psychedelic coloring. And, I've kind of outgrown this one. I really loved it at first because it was so unusual. The coloring and the designs and stuff. It's kind of pippish. And I know I got Gerald sold on it, and he bought both editions. There was a second edition of this, and he had the deck creator on his channel to interview, I think. Early on, I wanted to interview him, and he wasn't ready or didn't want to go on. But, I'm glad that that Gerald managed to talk to him. Unless I'm imagining that. I think that happened. Or he might have just done a deck opinion share with somebody else. I can't remember. Anyway, the only reason I'm kind of reluctant to let this go, I never reached for it, so I could let it go, is that the other thing I liked about this deck is it was a rare occasion where he actually was selling the artwork from the original cards that he'd done on little canvas boards on 5x7-inch, or maybe it was 5x8-inch canvas boards. And they were affordable. They were like $50 or $75 a piece or something for the original art that's on the cards. And I bought 2 of them, which are on my wall somewhere behind me. I don't think, you can't see them. And so I'm thinking, well, if I let the deck go, should I hang on to the paintings? Should I let the paintings go too? One of the paintings I really love and the other one not as much. I don't know. I have weird mixed feelings about this. I think I'm gonna let this go. I'm not sure if I'm gonna let the pouch go or hang on to the pouch. I'll think about that. I do have plenty of drawstring bags I can put decks in. So I probably let this go, but I might hold on to the pouch. Also, just to let you know, as we go on with my tarot clearouts, the further we go, the fewer I'm going to be weeding out of my collection, because I find that the ones on my deck are piled closest to me within arm's reach are the ones that I tend to use the most. So they're sort of of most personal value to me. It's like I want them close where I can get at them readily. And so if it's like on a far-fetched shelf, I'm not as apt to get up and go over and look in the shelves and find it. But if it's just next to me on the bed and I reach for it and use it, it's a keeper. Okay, this one, this is the Golden Klimt. This is another one of those situations where Lo Scarabeo has the multiple languages on it. It's one of the ones with the foil effects that I love. I love this swanky gold foil embellishments on these cards. I also love the artwork of Gustav Klimt. I wasn't keen on the multi-labels on the tops and the bottoms. This is another one that I also bought a mini version of. In fact, I have a friend who's a Klimt fanatic, and I gifted her a copy of this for her birthday. And I remember at the time trying to decide, should I get her the regular size or the mini? Because the mini one doesn't have the multiple languages on. and the regular size one did. This is another one that's like, if I had this without the multi titles on it, I'd probably want to try to get it and keep it. In the meantime, even though I rarely use it, I think I still value it enough to hang on to it, kind of maybe in hoping that at some point they will reissue this without the multiple languages and keep the gold foiling. I think, I can't remember, there was one deck I bought where the full-sized version had the gold foil, but the mini version, they'd removed it. And I can't remember which deck that was now, but I was really disappointed in it. They just made it kind of a goldish color ink, but a non-reflective, non-foil ink. But anyway, if anybody sees this anywhere without the languages, and I understand Los Scarabeo is reissuing some of their decks without the multiple languages now. So I don't know, maybe if I hang on 2 or 3 years, this will come out again by them in a new version without the languages. I don't know what they're doing instead, if they're doing they're only doing them in English, or if they're doing them in a language in whichever country the deck is being published in. But anyway, I have this in a tin because I was using it a lot at one point, and it was less wear on the cards to pull in and out of a tin than the tuck box. I think I still have the tuck box, but I'm not sure why I'm keeping it. I have a lot of those. Why do I hang on to those tuck boxes? Never know. All right, so I'm going to hold on to this, but kind of only until I can get a copy that doesn't have the languages on it. And now we're down to the last deck, unless I pull some more that weren't in the bag. This is another one of those little brocade pouches. These are very sweet. I miss that shop. And this has, I think this is one of my prototypes that I think I released a little bit prematurely. This is my Word Tarot Oracle, which I put out on MPC. And this was a deck that I designed. It's a majors only deck, and I designed it for people that wanted to read with cards but didn't want to bother learning the system, and maybe didn't need to be confused by learning 78 different cards. This one has no images on it. It just has a word. And so you don't even need to think of this as tarot. You can think of it as an oracle. That's why I called it the Word Tarot Oracle, because it is a tarot system, but it's just a key word for each card. I don't know if I one version of this, I included an extra card that had has comparative keywords and the archetype names on it. So if you needed that, you can do that. Apparently not this one. I don't know where the other one may show up in the future Clearout. This seems to have a couple of extra cards. If anybody make playing cards for their decks, you have to be particularly careful about the template that you use. This one actually I miscounted, so there's a couple of extra cards in here. Now, why do I have? Yeah, I don't know. This might even be extra cards from the other deck. I don't know. Oh, wait, one's got it on both sides, one's got it on one side, and one's got it with the copyright on it. I don't know why there's 3 cards here. Anyway, I'm probably just holding on to this because I feel in a way like it's not finished, like I might want to rejig it, reconsider some of the key words, like moon for the moon card. Skill, I believe, was the magician. Study, I think, was the high priestess. Wish might have been the star card. Change would be probably death. Balance is temperance. Equity is justice. Surprise. What was surprise? And that's probably the Tower. Suspension, Hangman. Temptation, the Devil. Nurture, Empress. Control, Emperor, probably. Teach, Hierophant. Adventure, the Fool. Sun card. Judgment. Achievement, probably the World card. Partnership, Lovers. Movement, the Chariot. Perseverance, Strength. Introspection, the Hermit. Fate, Wheel of Fortune. So there you go. I don't know that these are the best keywords. I think the longer I considered it, the more I thought, maybe a couple of them I might have a better keyword. I wanted single words on the cards. But anyway, this was sort of a concept which wouldn't appeal to people that like images because there are no images on the cards. But they are easy to use because you don't need a book. You don't need to learn anything. All you need to do is consider what that keyword might mean to you in a sort of an oracular way. So that's my tarot or word tarot oracle, and hang on to that for reference. We got about 12 minutes to go. Maybe I can pull something else here. All right, let's do this one. Ooh, this is tough. This one I think I saw on Simon's channel a few months ago, the Whispers of Time Tarot. And it's one of those in those telescopic boxes. It's got gilt edging and a nice book. It's beautiful. The cards are sort of on the stiff side, which I don't know, not like my favorite card stock, but it's okay. The backs are pretty. The imagery is kind of dark, but really beautiful and almost dramatic, kind of perfect. This is one that, as gorgeous as it is, there's something about it that kind of rubs me the wrong way. And this may or may not be AI, but it feels to me like it's AI. The artwork feels to me kind of like too perfect. It just feels like an AI deck. I would be very surprised if it's not. And these days it gets harder and harder to tell what is and what isn't AI anymore. The systems seem to be perfecting imagery to the point that it's very hard to tell. If this isn't totally AI, I suspect AI was used during part of the production in some way. It is a moody deck, which I love. I love moody decks. I like the dark palette of it. The images are melodramatic. The people are sort of on the glamour side, but they're not like cheery. They're all kind of dark and moody and introspective. I like that Six of Swords, the boat gliding away. Some cards I like better than others. Yeah. I don't know. Part of me is saying let this go, and another part is saying hang on to it a while longer. I think this is one I will give the 6 month consideration to. I will hang on to it for another 6 months and then try to decide if I'm ready to let it go at that stage or not. So that one's staying. Was the Art Nouveau Tarot by any chance? I think you're talking about the mini one that didn't have the gold on it. It might have been. You know which one it was? It was the golden Art Nouveau. Is that what it's called? Yes, I think yeah, that was the one. Yeah. The full size one has the gold embellishment and the mini one doesn't. Saskia likes this deck. I don't know. Golden Art Nouveau Mini does not have the gold foiling. Oh, hi, Star and Flurry. Okay, so let's see. All right, let's put this one on there. It's tricky. I'm like reaching now in the back from. I need to. There are some in a pile I need to dig for, and then others that are on the top tray. The top tray is usually the one that is the most dear to me, the one I'm least likely to let go of things on, but I reached for one on this. This is a deck, another one in a tin that I loved, but I've not been using it much lately, and I don't know if it's one I need to keep. It is the Zodiac Tarot. This also does come, I believe, in a tuck box, full size. I do like the size. This is a glossy deck, and mostly I don't care for glossy decks. And I do like that this is like a nighttime art palette, but because of the glossiness, doesn't photograph particularly well. It's highly reflective. Also, I'm not an astrology person, so it's like I may be owning this for the wrong reasons. I don't particularly care about studying astrology, but I like stylized art. I like the imagery, and I like how the color palette is sort of bright pops of color against black night skies. And I like the sort of the dramatic quality of that, the contrastiness. And it is an easy to read RWS type deck. So that's nice. I'm not sure. I think the charm of this is sort of like worn off a little bit over time. But I think a wise thing for me to do, rather than just dismissing this here and now, is to give it the 6 month treatment. Hang on to it for 6 months and revisit whether I want to still keep it or let it go. So I'll do that. How are we doing for time? 1:54. Maybe one more. Okay, what's this? All right, here's one that's in a pouch. I shouldn't get too many of these pouches because the problem is that I have trouble remembering what's in each pouch until I open it up to look at it. Yeah, that's tricky. Oh, okay, this I want to keep. This I saw on Robert Farrow's Tea and Tarot channel. It's called the Ator Tarot. And it's out of print. I got it on eBay. They have reprinted it, but reformatted it less pleasingly. And he even has a video about that where he shows the vintage version versus the reprint version. So you can go over to his channel and check that out. Don't like the backs because I don't like print on the backs of my cards. But what this is a kind of a cartooned version of the RWS. That's sort of, if you don't like the refinement of Pixie's art, but you like reading with her imagery, this is almost like almost like a Simpsons version of Pixie's art. Very identifiable. I think that's an extra card, I believe. This is as above, so below. Yeah, I think that's a bonus card. I think it's fun and cute how the eyes float right off the face. There's a very distinct style to this, and it is out of print, but I think you can still find it on eBay occasionally. It's not super cheap. It's probably somewhere between 80 and 120. But I like this enough to have it just as a kind of an alternative to the traditional RWS imagery. It's light and fun. Every once in a while, we want the color, but we want something a little bit whimsical or a little less serious, a little more light and fun. Obviously doesn't know how to draw hands, but that's okay. Neither do I. I mean, I can if I really work at it, but so yeah, that's kind of fun. And where are we? 158. I think I'll stop there. So I'm going to hold on to the Ator Tarot because I like the whimsy of it. I'll let you go. Next week, I should have a new deck that I ordered this week but didn't arrive in time for Toadstool Tarot time. And so I will have something new to review next time. And then after that, we'll probably go back to what would be shelf number 12. And I would say probably I have maybe I'm guessing a total of 15 episodes of Tarot Clearout. And then I should be done. And then I'm going to go back and quickly show you all the ones I'm letting go. If anybody's interested, may have a little bit of a kind of an auction deal. And then you can decide and get in touch if there's anything there that interests you. Otherwise, I'll find some other way to dispose of them. I have already made a dent in my shelves. I probably have, over the course of 10 shelves, have at least made room for one or maybe 1.5 shelves worth of decks, which is good. So that did shift some of my real estate. So thank you for joining me this week, and I will see you all next week. I hope everybody takes care of themselves. Stay warm. Try to keep from catching colds. Do what you have to do. Do what you can do. And I'm going to let you go, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.